The alleged gunman in El Paso, Texas, posted his anti-immigrant manifesto to the online message board 8chan minutes before the shooting. Cloudflare, the network provider for 8chan, has since announced it is dropping the site. But the El Paso suspect was not the first to use 8chan. Other mass shooting suspects have done the same. Jeff Pegues is here. Jeff, what's being done to prevent shootings like this?
Well, good morning. Just a few months ago, the FBI created and enhanced a special task force to study active shooter incidents. Their goal has been to find ways to prevent them by looking for similarities and links. According to current and former law enforcement officials, many attackers are inspired online, and message boards and social media are giving attackers the platform they seek.
2 victims from gunshot wounds.
Many recent shootings share a troubling connection. The accused killers have left a blueprint for their alleged actions on social media, like the attack in a Pittsburgh synagogue last year in which 11 people were killed, and the massacre in Christchurch, New Zealand, in which 51 were killed. Nate Snyder is a former counterterrorism official in the Department of Homeland Security.
You have would-be recruiters and provokers who are using these platforms to get to people on a personal level.
The posts are out in the open, but difficult for law enforcement to spot unless they get a tip before an attack happens. Inside this conference room in an unmarked building, the FBI has been working to prevent future attacks. Analysts comb through dozens of recent active shooting cases. Agent Andre Simmons says they have been looking for patterns. It's not really accurate to say that someone just snapped.
Not at all. In fact, what we found is that all of the shooters in our study certainly planned and prepared. Many shooters spent almost 2 years.
2 years.
Planning their attack.
FBI studies have found that only 25% of active shooters had ever been diagnosed with mental illness, and that shooters aren't typically loners. 27% had significant online interaction.
He has a heightened interest in weapons and explosives.
The FBI tells us they receive 3 to 4 referrals a week of people who've landed on law enforcement's radar. But in the majority of cases, people who see the signs of trouble before mass shootings often don't call police. And the motivating factors, are they the same or different? They vary.
Usually it's a desire for some omnipotent control, even if it's just momentary. And there's also a degree of a desire for infamy and notoriety.
In a rare statement from the FBI, the Bureau said the attack in El Paso, quote, underscores the continued threat posed by domestic violent extremists and perpetrators of hate crimes.
All right, Jeff, and so much information that investigators have, but yet they stop a lot of things that we don't hear about.
Yes.
But you can't necessarily prevent some of these things that we continue to report on.
That's right. I mean, it's a tough task. They're trying with that unit there to boil down some of the symptoms, if you will, of an impending attack so that they can reach out to the public and say, hey, here's what you can look for. But it's hard getting those 1 or 2 things to look for to make it easy for people to spot.
Yeah, and getting somebody to say something, as you said in your report. It's the idea of if you see something, say something. We started with that.
And that, I think, is what's so troubling, is that you have people who see the signs, people going and buying weapons or things like that, but yet they don't report it.
Right, exactly. Thank you, Jeff.